I used to think speaking English would make learning Swedish much easier. And to be fair, sometimes it did. But sometimes it actually makes things much more confusing because there are these Swedish words that look or sound so familiar that your brain immediately goes, oh, I know what that means. Except you really don't. Even now, after living in Sweden for almost 14 years, there are still a few words that make my English brain pause for a split second. Not because I don't know what they mean anymore, but because my brain still remembers the first time I came across them. And honestly, it all starts with an ice cream freezer. I still remember this so clearly. I was standing in front of one of those big ice cream freezers in the supermarket. And then there was this sign with a big cross across it. It just said, SLUT. I honestly remember thinking, wait, what happened? I even looked around for a second. Did something happen? Was there some kind of problem? Then a few seconds later, it clicked. Oh, it just means sold out. In Swedish, it's pronounced SLUT. Looking back, it's funny now. But at the time, that little moment taught me something much bigger. When we move to Sweden, our English becomes a shortcut. Our brain is constantly trying to recognize familiar words. Sometimes that's really helpful, but sometimes our own assumptions are exactly what confuse us. And once I noticed one word like that, I started seeing more and more of them. Have you ever had one of those moments where you looked at a word and thought, that can't possibly mean that? If you have, don't worry, you're definitely not the only one. A few months later, I was sitting in my SFI class, and this time it wasn't my eyes that got confused. It was my mouth, and actually my ears. We were doing one of those role plays, pretending to meet someone and making plans. I don't even remember exactly what the conversation was about anymore, but I do remember the last sentence. Okay, vi ses klockan 10, prick. The moment we got to the word prick, we both totally lost it. Neither of us could finish the conversation. We were trying so hard to be serious, but we just couldn't. Now, of course, I know prick simply means exactly, on the dot. So 10 o'clock, sharp. Perfectly normal. But when your English brain is hearing something completely different, keeping a straight face is almost impossible. Looking back, I'm actually glad we laughed. Because learning a language as an adult is awkward sometimes. You misunderstand words. You pronounce things wrong. You laugh at yourself. And honestly, I think that's much better than being too afraid to speak. Have you ever had one word that completely broke your concentration? I'd love to know I'm not the only one. At that point, I thought, okay, that's probably the last really funny one. I realized that I couldn't have been more wrong. This one wasn't one funny moment. It was hundreds of little moments. Because once you notice it, it's everywhere. You're driving along, infart. A few minutes later, utfart. Then farthinder. If, like me, your brain automatically switches to English, your brain probably does exactly what mine did. Surely that can't be right. The funny thing is, once somebody explained that fart simply means speed or movement, everything suddenly made sense. Infart is the entrance, utfart is the exit. Farthinder literally means a speed bump. The words suddenly stopped being strange. Nothing had changed about Swedish. The signs hadn't changed. My brain had. And I think that's what learning Swedish is really like. Quite often, it isn't the language that's difficult. It's the assumptions we bring with us. Be honest, did your English brain react the first time you saw one of these signs? By then, I thought my brain was finally adapting. Then another word came along and confused me in a completely different way. This one is especially interesting because I speak 3 languages. In English, I'm a big fan. In Chinese, 吃饭 means eating a meal. Then I moved to Sweden, And suddenly, fan became a swear word. Even today, my brain still hesitates for just a tiny moment. Not because I don't understand it, just because three languages are all trying to tell me something different. Actually, that reminds me of one of my favorite moments with my kids. One day they said, "Fan." Immediately I said, "No swearing in this house." They looked at me and said, "But we're speaking Chinese." I couldn't even argue with that. I think that's one of the funny things about speaking more than one language. I don't think our brains ever really let go of the languages we've learned. It just keeps adding new layers. Sometimes those layers help you, and sometimes that just leads to some very funny conversations at home. Some words were funny because they looked strange. Others became difficult because I actually had to say them almost every single day at work. This is a Swedish word I tried my hardest to avoid. Honestly, even now, I'm still slightly uncomfortable saying this. FACK. When I started working in Sweden, people would sometimes ask, "Har du gått med i facket?" which simply means, "Have you joined the union?" Completely normal question. I understood it perfectly. That wasn't the problem. The problem was saying the word. Honestly, I'd almost whisper it, or I'd find another way to say the sentence instead, as if avoiding the word would somehow make it easier. The funny thing is, fuck doesn't only mean the trade union. It can also mean a compartment or tray in a cabinet or storage unit. So I came across the word quite often at work, and every single time, my English brain still quietly protested. Okay, I've got a genuine question for all the Swedes watching. Is there another perfectly normal word I can use? Or do I finally just have to grow up and say fuck like everyone else? Looking back, I don't think these words were the biggest challenge. They were just little reminders that building a life in another country takes time. Little by little, the things that once felt strange become normal. Now I love to know which Swedish word confused you the most. Leave me a comment below. I read every single one. And who knows, maybe we'll make part 2 together. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one.